last time because now we are in the thick of things, and we are finally talking about how it works in a sales organization. And we discussed sales organization. We discussed the different types of sales organization. We discussed we discussed different types of sales organization. We discussed हम पता recording हो रही है जल्दी से देख. Thank you. We discussed different types of sales organization. We discussed how the sales organization changes over a period of time. Then we went ahead and discussed two methods of how to decide the number of people in my sales organization. And then we went ahead. Now that the people are there, they need to perform. And if we understood that performance is a product of motivation and training, we discussed those. Then further went ahead. Now that they're ready to perform, fine, let's give them the platform to perform, and we give them the sales territory. So we understood the basics of sales territory. Most important, that we have to treat everyone equally. We have to give everyone equal opportunity. And then once the sales territory is there, fine, now you have to perform. So the sales quota. And last time we discussed about sales quota. We discussed the different types of sales quota, volume sales quota, unit sales quota. But in reality, it's a combination of the different quota systems. Great. Now that we know about the sales quota also, if they are performing, why are they performing? They're performing because they want a compensation. At the end of the day, your salespeople are performing on whichever platform you're providing them because they expect a reward. What is the name of that reward? It is compensation. And so today we will discuss Salesforce compensation. Today we will just discuss the theory, and then in the next class we'll do numericals to understand it, how it actually functions in a company. But before that, what is compensation? So if you ask me, people say salary. Well, that's not really true, because compensation is a combination of a fixed pay, a variable pay for salespeople, and incentives. Now, what is the thought process behind the compensation for a salesperson? So the thought process is, again, go back to the theories of motivation. If you take Maslow's theory, the first thing, you grow step by step. You first have to take care of the basic needs of people, roti kapda makan. You first have to provide them that safety and security before you start asking them to do wonders. If you have to do that, you have to ensure that at the end of every month they get something in hand. You can't make life so unpredictable for them if they're your employees that they don't know at the end of every month what will they get, and therefore that stress, that tension will never allow them to perform. And therefore the first thing, a fixed pay, so that the salesperson knows that yes, at the end of the day I will definitely get this amount. Having said that, in a sales organization, we have to provide equal opportunity and then differentiate between people. And therefore, a star performer, if I go back to the Harvard Business article, the star performer and laggard and core performer. Why would a star performer perform? I mean, if everyone is getting the same salary, why would he perform? If everyone is getting 50% or 60% marks, then why would a student study to get 90% marks? Because whether he studies or not, he will get 60%. And therefore, ahead of the fixed pay, you have to give them the variable pay, right? So that a star performer gets more, a laggard most probably doesn't get anything, and a core performer gets between the two. So the fixed pay ensures that they have safety and security, while the variable pay ensures that they perform so that we can differentiate between the members. We can then groom the people for future leadership, Or we can ask those people who are not performing to either perform or leave, right? Give them the same platform, only then can you differentiate. So this is the theory behind the compensation. At this point of time, maybe let me come back to you at any point of time. As I always say, if you have any doubt, query, suggestion, just unmute and say. Now, what are the requirements of a good sales compensation plan? As I said, number one, it should provide a living wage, which means a fixed salary. I mean, at the end of the month, a person should take home something. Fit with the motivational program. Now, this is so important, because what do you mean by fit with the motivational program? It means that the people who perform better should be given more reward, and people who do not perform should not be given, because we have to be fair to people. If a person who's not performing is also given the same reward as a person who's performing, then you are demotivating the person who performs. A person who cheats for an exam, if he or she gets the same marks as a person who's given the exam with full sincerity, then what is the message you are giving? That, hey, if you are hardworking and sincere, then you don't perform well. So you have to ensure that you motivate the right people. And therefore, it should be fair. Very important. It should be easy to understand. Why? Because your salespeople should know what is it that I have to do if they to get this compensation. If it is not clear to them that what are they supposed to do to get this compensation, they will not be able to deliver. Yes, very important, economical to administer. If you should, maybe your competitor companies are paying XYZ amount, but you should look at the balance sheet of your own company. Can you do that? Right? Because if you can't, then step back, and helps in, obviously, add everything together and helps in attaining objectives of the organization. So when we are talking about the compensation plan, remember, you should be able to retain quality manpower, because good people are so difficult to find. It's not difficult finding a person for the job. So you take out one vacancy, you will get hundreds of applications. But finding a good person for that job is so difficult, right? So I'm not talking about quantity, I'm talking about quality. And therefore, your compensation plan should be such that you can retain good people. And therefore, the attrition rate should be less. And again, when I'm talking about attrition rate, I'm talking about good people leaving. If people who are not performing are leaving, that's absolutely okay, right? Obviously, it should be able to generate motivation. It should address the short term, very important, short term as well as the long term issues. Now, what is short term? Short term is survival. Short term is roti kapda makan of everyday needs and so on. What is long term? Long term are our dreams. And therefore, while it should be able to take care of the everyday needs of the person, it should also allow the person to dream of growth, dream of promotion, dream of a better life, whatever. So your compensation plan should take care of this. Now you will ask me, how will we take care of the dreams? And I'll come to that. So basically, when we are looking at all these things, how do we take care of the dreams? In short, you have to remember that compensation plan is not always monetary. When we talk about a compensation plan, it is financial as well as non-financial. Yes, promotion at the end of the day results in increase of your salary. So it is financial, but it's a dream. Today, I work hard expecting a promotion tomorrow. You look forward to it. Right? Today, you work hard expecting a recognition or an award or something tomorrow. It's a dream. So your compensation plan should be able to look at short-term things, as I said, as well as long-term issues. So in short, it should be financial and take care of non-financial needs also. Well, then what are the different kinds of compensation plans? So the first one, absolutely simple, straight salary. What does it mean? At the end of every month, you get a fixed amount. Does it work for salespeople? No. And therefore, you will not find any sales organization having this straight salary plan, right? It works most probably beautifully for those desk jobs. So a receptionist. I mean, how is the job fluctuating for him or her? I mean, he or she will take care of the people who are coming, most probably answer the phone calls. You can't make him or her get a variable pay depending on the number of phone calls he or she answers, because that's not under her control. So straight salary plan is when at the end of every month you get the same salary. Obviously, it doesn't work for sales organizations. Obviously, the advantages are many. So in SCMS, we get a straight salary. It's like, it's very simple from financial point of view, in the sense that you know exactly how much is going to be the outflow every month when I look at the financial figures of the company. However, if the job is such where your performance is affected by the circumstances, or your performance, for example, sales, then there is no motivation for the salesperson if you give him a straight salary. I mean, whether he sells 10 units or whether he sells 20 units, at the end of it, if both of them are going to get the same amount, why would he sell 20 units? He won't, right? So therefore, this is only for jobs which are more or less sort of desk jobs, where the variation in the profile is not too much. Commission plan. So go back to our discussion in one of the classes where I spoke about that if you want to start your own company, you don't have money in the sense you've taken loans, so you don't want to overspend. At the same time, you have to look at sales. What should we do? And we spoke about agents. Well, commission plan is when you have people who sell. So you sell, you get a commission. You don't sell, you don't get a commission. However, in India, it's very different. I mean, this is not an employment. So these people are not your employees. Please understand. I mean, if in India, when you make someone an employee, then you can't have that person on a commission basis. You have to take care of a lot of things. So besides, and one of the things is that you have to give him some salary at the end of every month. You have to provide him leaves. You have to provide him medical benefits. You have to take care of the PF, so on and so forth. So these people, if someone is working on commission basis, he or she is not your employee, right? This is a great thing if you don't want any employee and you just want agents. So they sell and they earn. If they don't sell, they don't earn. And that thing is really going from your pocket, especially when you're hard pressed for money or things like that. But as it says, there is no loyalty. Obviously, they're agents. They're working for 10 more people. They don't have any sense of loyalty to you. Whoever pays them more commission, they'll go there. And also, very important, if your products start doing very, very well, and this is a mathematical thing, maybe one day I'll show you with a graph, there will be a point where what you're paying in commission would be more than what you will pay if you had employees, right? If your product, and there comes a point when you should not have agents, but you should have employees. Well, if these are the two, what is the final? So this is, and yes, commission can be based on a lot of things. So for example, you may decide that commission will be given on the basis of volume. So you sell goods worth 10,000 rupees, and it will be a percentage of volume, or it may be a percentage of profit, right? Now this is between the company, the person, and the agent. Commission this is very interesting. Commission can be constant, progressive, or combination, and I'll show you this. Commission can be to an individual, or it can be between two salespeople, or between the team. So all these are combinations which are worked out between the agent and the organization. This is very interesting, when to pay the commission. Should we pay when the order is confirmed, or should we pay when it is shipped, or should we pay when it is billed, or should we pay when you receive the amount, or should it be a combination? Obviously, everything has its plus and minus. So if you pay when the order is confirmed, well, they can cancel the order tomorrow, right? So you have paid the commission and they can cancel the order tomorrow, right? So should we pay when it is shipped? Well, this is like more secure. See, you want security for both, for the company as well as for the agent. Now, when it is shipped, it is more or less like, yeah, I mean, it is going now. So maybe you can pay now. Billed, yeah. So when they send a bill back, that's also okay. Now, paid for, when I will receive the amount as an organization, then I will give you a commission. Very good for an organization. Fantastic. But is it fair for the agent? Because in business, there's nothing called cash. We all work on credit basis. So I may have shipped the goods in January, and we may have an arrangement of 45 days credit, which means that the payment may come to me in February. Now, is this really fair that till February we are making the agent wait, right? So while when order is confirmed is not fair on an organization, paid for is not fair for the agent. So we work this out between companies, and this is, as I said, depends from company to company, right? Now, this I always find very interesting, the different types of commission rates, and I'll just show you this. So it says constant, progressive, and regressive. Now, what is constant? So 10% of whatever you sell. So you sell goods worth 100 rupees, you get 10 rupees. You sell goods worth 200 rupees, you get 20 rupees. You sell goods worth 300 rupees, you get 30 rupees, and so on. Let me show you a graph. So this is like constant, right? So what is happening? You sell goods worth 11, you get 1.1, 12, 1.2, 13, 1.3. Look at this, it is starting with 11. Why? Because till 11, you don't get any commission. I mean, minimum you have to sell 10. Maybe that's between the company. You sell 14, you get 1.4, and so on. So constant. Now this is progressive. Look at progressive. What is happening in progressive? You sell 11, 1.1, 12, 1.2, 15, 1.5. But after 15, they have increased the commission to 20%. So now you sell 16, you get 3.2. 17, 3.4. What happened over here? This became progressive. Now, why would you do it? You would do it most probably when you know that the product is very difficult to sell, and you know that till 15, everyone would be able to sell, or most probably with some difficulty. But beyond 15, the person really needs to be appreciated. And therefore, what do? After 15, you increase it in a progressive manner. What happens? This encourages the star performers, because this is where the core performer will stop. He'll say, yaar, bahut ho gaya, nahi chahiye. But the star performer, he's dying to show himself. He's dying to let you know that he is to be groomed like a leader, and this is when he will perform. He will show you that, yes, I can take the challenge. So that progressive rate comes into the picture. Now look at regressive rate. So you sell 11, 1.1, 12, 1.2, 13, 1.3, 15, 1.5. But hey, what happened here? Now when I'm selling 16, instead of getting 1.6, it's only 0.8. What happened? 17, instead of getting 3.4 or 1.7, I'm getting only 0.85. And look at this, this is worse. Now when it's 18, I'm only getting 0.45. So here it was still 10%. Here it became 5%, and here it's 0.25%. Now who does that? I mean, come on, I'm increasing. This is increasing, but this, instead of going like this or instead of going like this is decreasing. Progressive, sorry, regressive. Why would a company ever have a regressive rate? Think for 5-6 seconds, and maybe then I'll provide you a clue.
Ma'am, because of what you said earlier, that having to pay commission sometimes it gets more expensive for the company than to pay an employee. So they maybe don't want to pay after 15. They will pay an employee because it is becoming more expensive later on.
Yes, that may be one reason. And second, very good. And second reason that you may have limited stock or you may be thinking of phasing out the product. Think of both the situations. So if I'm thinking of phasing out the product, or if like if I have our product, we are facing some manufacturing issues and there is a limit to the stock, we don't want our customers to be disappointed. Can you imagine what will happen if a customer places an order and then we tell you, sorry, you know what, we can't deliver, right? So what are they doing? If we are phasing out the stock or limited stock, we are discouraging the salesperson from selling. The salesperson will say, yeah, why would I sell? This is my rate. I mean, why? Any normal human being, that this is decreasing. Why should I put in effort? So we are not saying don't sell, but we are discouraging our sales people from reaching out to customers to get new orders because most probably we are phasing out the product or most probably we have limited stocks, right? So three things: constant, progressive, and regressive. Well, one was straight salary, second was commission, but in reality, when you are an employee, you have a combination, which means you get a part of your salary as fixed salary. So every month, at the end of the month, you will get a certain amount, come what may. This will definitely come into your bank account. And the balance will be dependent on your performance. So if you perform well, then you get a certain percentage. If you don't perform, you do not get, and so on. So while the fixed income takes care of the daily needs and provides that basic security from Maslow's hierarchy, the incentives motivates him to reach to the goal. Is there any percentage? So, I mean, how does it work? Is it 50-50? Is it 60-40? Is it what? So, no, there is no fixed percentage. Again, depends from company to company. But usually it is 60-40 or 70-30, right? Because we want to motivate and yet take care. But as I said, again, this is no fixed rule. A company may decide to alter this completely. Now, obviously, this really, I mean, I don't need to tell you the plus and minus. The biggest plus is that it allows you to differentiate between the people. It allows you to first provide them the same opportunity, and yet at the same time, after the performance, you have every right to say that, you know what, Ravi, go back to that case study, you haven't been performing and therefore you will not get anything. And eventually, if you still don't perform, you may be asked to leave the company. So it is neither straight salary nor commission which works in real life. In real life, what works is a combination plan. While these are short-term survival, as I said, the ability to dream is taken care of by the non-financial compensation, which is also financial if you actually look at it. So that dream of getting a promotion, right? We call it non-financial compensation. Or everyone doesn't get a promotion, there may be other ways. So you may allow, so if you do well, if you are among the top 20% of the employees, then we may send you for further higher education, or we may sponsor your education, or we may send you for some kind of a development seminar, or whatever. So other ways of encouraging a person to perform. Or you must have heard that organizations have best salesperson of the quarter, of the month, and so on. What's that? That's also a sort of acknowledgement of that, yes, you're performing very well. It's a recognition which is given to the salespeople. And obviously, job security, I mean, you know that you are being trained. If you know that with the good performance, your job is secure in the organization. That's also a kind of non-financial compensation. But in short, while financial compensations we define as something which you get, non-financial also are financial, but they're more about the long term, because ultimately all this recognition, opportunity for personal growth, they result in promotion, because it's only a person who's recognized frequently, you know that he's on a track for becoming a leader. And this job security is so important for co-performers. So while this is important for the star performers, this is so important for those core performers, that yes, I'm going to be here, they will take care of me, and if I keep performing, there is no danger to my job. So financial and non-financial compensation. Well, at this point of time, let me come back to you. Let me stop presenting, and let me also stop reading, because I would like to open it up for discussion, because it's only when we understand the basics that we will be able to solve the numerics.